Buen día a todo. It's a pleasure to participate today at the Global Digital Week. Thanks a lot, Guillermo, for inviting us. My name is Martín Stadler. I'm the CEO of Altoo. Altoo is a Swiss wealth tech company with 28 employees based in the city of Zug, and we are providing simplicity for complex wealth. I'm going to talk about the future of wealth management. My background, I used to be 20 years with the Swiss wealth manager UBS. I was servicing family offices and wealthy private individuals for their total wealth needs. But 4 years ago, we launched our company Altoo, a wealth tech providing simplicity for complex wealth, or in other words, making life easier for wealthy private individuals. It's a pleasure for me to talk about this topic in the next 20 minutes because it's really our passion. We feel from our clients that things are changing in the financial industry and things are changing rapidly. So I would like to highlight these kind of aspects on which path the wealth management industry is and how banks, wealth managers, but as well family offices can position themselves to create added value for their clientele. So let me jump directly into the presentation. So what do we see in the last few years? We see that the industry moves from a one-stop shop to best of class. What does it mean? My parents, they just only had one bank. But if you look on your mobile phone, how many finance apps do you find? 3, 5, or 8? We are all already used to it, to use different providers for different services for different reasons. Why that? Because our generation, we have a much better access to information. If you need the best and cheapest payment service, just Google it. If you need the best ETF to invest in the market with the best, the best not only performance, but as well the lowest price, just Google it and you find it. And our generation, of course, has a much better education if it comes to financial aspects. We are well educated and we definitely know what we want. Second, new providers. If you look at the program of this digital week, you see many interesting companies, not only in fintech, as well in other topics for well-being, for providing services. So new providers are popping up, making life easier, providing a better service, providing maybe a cheaper service. They are focusing mainly on one expertise, so they help to create an added value in a specific aspect, sometimes in a specific niche. But last and not least, there are new tools coming up as well to help people to keep track and control of their finances. New tools such as Altoo, and I will give you afterwards a live demonstration how this world looks like. So with this digitalization, with these three trends, we see that the consumers, the financial clients are enabled for a best of class approach. I can choose the best or cheapest credit card. I can choose the cheapest trading account for my stock brokerage, etc., etc. This was not possible 10 years before because it was quite a black box. But now it's all about transparency. If one would like to have information what's best, you will find your way. So therefore, as said, it's a shift for a one-stop shop into a best of class. So as said, our parents, they just had one bank, maybe a bank account for the salary, and maybe a bank account for the savings. Whereas ourselves, we have now for wealth management, maybe a robo-advisor, which is investing our money. We have a credit card app on a mobile phone, let's say American Express. We use for payment not only a bank transfer, we have as well PayPal, where we can transfer our money all over the world within seconds for very, very cheap servicing price. Then, of course, trading. When I started working for a bank, I remember clients used to pay about 2% of fees just to trade a stock. Today, there are different brokerage or trading apps. And if we look at an app like Robinhood, trading becomes a commodity. Trading becomes almost for free. And last but not least, of course, crypto has come up in the last few years as well. So one might use Coinbase or another exchange or wallet to trade the cryptos. So it's a very good example that the complexity is increasing a lot because now you have 5, 6 different providers. So therefore, you have separated your wealth or finance activities. So if you want to know by today, how much do I have in total? It's not just looking at one bank account statement. You have the different apps and you have to add the numbers together. So with that, we saw definitely a disaggregation as well, not only in the fintech and therefore retail space, but the same is happening as well in wealth management. So traditional private banks, especially here in Switzerland, come under pressure with their traditional revenue streams. So far, a bank has earned money with infrastructure, which is custody fee, trading fees, payments, or cards. But as said before, with fintechs, with other services, these revenues will come under pressure or are already under pressure. Second, with products. It could be an investment mandate, investment fund, structured products, all kind of these services. As we are better informed, as we have access as well to institutional products, margins are coming down as well. So if you're a private bank, you need to see this as well. You earn money in the future if the revenue trend for these two pillars are rather on the negative side. So therefore, advice is definitely something that has to be priced in the future. So far, advice was for free because it was subsidized by the infrastructure and product revenues. But in the future, advice for an investment proposal, for financial planning or legacy planning will have a price tag. So clients and the banks have to increase the revenues on their side. But advice needs to be as well unique. And therefore, advice needs to be as well holistic. And holistic wealth advice is based not only on one bank account, but of course on the 2 or 3 banks a wealth management client has, maybe on real estate, private equity, or collection of art. And exactly here, the Altoo Wealth Platform comes into the place. Our wealth platform, created by the 27 employees here in Switzerland, aggregates in a very intuitive way all the wealth data of a wealthy person, may be bankable and non-bankable assets. 2 important things have been relevant when we have been building up this platform. First, co-creatorship. You will see it afterwards in the demonstration of the live tool. Our platform has a unique client experience. Why that? Because we have been asking our clients. Altoo stands for all together. Our clients have been the co-creator for our platform. The innovation has been driven by them. We've been asking, how can we create something very intuitive so it helps in your daily business? And secondly, where we have a strong focus as well, security Swiss engineered. Imagine somebody having 50 or 100 million. Of course, privacy about this data is key. So therefore, for our firm, it's key to have all this data securely and encrypted in Switzerland. And therefore, we have the full value chain for the development and for the data storage in-house at Altoo. So how does that look like? Let me share the Altoo Wealth Platform with you in a live demo. So imagine you have now won in the lottery, and by today you have 30 or 40 million of US dollar. Welcome back. The client logs in the morning. We are aggregating his wealth data and updating everything. So we try to visualize it in a very intuitive way. Your current net wealth is 37.3 million US dollar. We write sentences instead of putting everything in a table, which might be complicated, not really in the language of a client. Because our clients are not all of them professional. But if you manage to display financial data in an intuitive way, simple to understand, you enable the clients to understand it. And if you understand it yourself, it's much easier to trust all the providers and banks around you, whether they are doing a good job or not. So therefore, writing a sentence like your net wealth has increased by 1.6 million in the last 365 days, resulting from performance and cash flow, is super intuitive. And if you see then that as well that in the beginning of 2021, it was slightly negative, but then with the market rally, the portfolio came into positive territory throughout the end of the last year. Yes, it's a very intuitive way to look at. In addition, he sees his asset allocation, and not only the bankable assets like equity, but as well his real estate or his private equity or his collection of art. Then he has in his dashboard the overview of highest and lowest performer. Which asset class did perform the best? Equity over the last year. which one was the worst performer, fixed income, or which investments have been the worst ones on a single stocks or single investment basis. So we see that Louis Vuitton has been the best one, and the single family house here in Switzerland has been the lowest performance one. So showing this data very intuitively on an iPad, on the iPhone, or on a browser provides our clients on a day-to-day basis an overview. If one would like to have then a deep dive, he can click on everything. Like here, I would like to see the development of every single investment, either in a chart view, or what we have as well is what we call a bubble view. What you see here is the performance in US dollar from any investment of the asset class equity. So every bubble is one investment. Coca-Cola, positive 21%. The more to the right, the better the performance was. The more to the left, the more it was a construction site. And I might have to call my banker to discuss whether this is still a good investment. Visualizing data provides understanding and enables the client to find the right topics to discuss with his experts. Of course, it's not only about the bankable assets, it's as well about non-bankable assets. And showing the balance sheet for a family with liquidity, with real estate, with lifestyle assets, but for real estate as well, that he has financing with mortgages, and showing the leverage overall gives a very good overview, a good picture of everything. Again, everything is clickable. So if he wants to see his lifestyle assets, he might see here his boat as a bubble, but especially if it comes to tangible assets, it's as well seeing these assets in a nice and tangible way. Whether it's here the classic car, the watch, or the boat, or on the other side as well, if it comes to real estate, so he sees his real estate portfolio, an apartment in the Swiss Alps, or an apartment here in Zurich in the Old Town. If we go into one of these assets, we not only have the numbers, but if he is in the asset and he sees his performance, he finds as well under attachment all relevant documents which are saved with this respective asset. Like here, the purchase contract saved at the right place. So whether he is looking for a document, or his wife, or his tax accountant, everybody can access it, can type it, I need for the apartment Kirchgässli a document. He sees that he has the apartment, one click, a second click on the attachment, and he already finds the respective document he's looking at. Of course, seeing the picture as well creates some identification, and under summary, he's able to put all the telephone number, the emergency contacts, etc., etc. So it's a one place to save all important data, to make it available to the advisors, again, holistic wealth advice, but as well family office employees or family members or any other service provider. So the Altoo Wealth Platform really provides simplicity in a very unique way. And by today, we have already clients in 18 different countries. We have clients from Hong Kong, Australia, to the US, and as well Mexico. And therefore, I'm very pleased because of our clients that we are invited here as well at this digital week here in Mexico. And it's a pleasure as well to see our technology further growing. So if I go back to our slides, we have, one second. We have definitely seen that the Altoo Wealth Platform is creating added value. It's creating added value for families, keeping track and control of the total wealth. It's creating value to holistic wealth advisors. It could be a multifamily office. We have already 28 doing a white labeling of our software, using it for their services to aggregate wealth data and, as said, to provide best of class investment advice. But it could be as well for a private bank who would be who doesn't only like to be a custodian bank, but as well to provide holistic private banking wealth advice and to advise the client that his strategic and tactical asset allocation is in the right place. So If you want to know more, if you want to see how Swiss banks are doing it, feel free to contact me. We are Swiss based, but we are a global firm, and we are from time to time as well in Mexico. So I'm looking forward to meet up either for a virtual cappuccino via Zoom, or next time we are in Mexico City to have tacos or tequila together. It was a pleasure to give you insights about how we see the future of wealth management, and sharing the technology and vision of Altoo with you. And feel free to reach out for any further question. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.